Good morning, my fellow pet lovers and fur baby mamas who've lost their pets, mamas and daddies who've lost their pets. I am Mamie Jones, your pet death doula, and I am here to talk about what we've been talking about all week, really, and that is disenfranchised grief. And for those of you who are not familiar with what disenfranchised grief is, disenfranchised grief is grief that's not accepted by society. Society says no. You should not be grieving about this, that, or the other. But this specific training that I have created to help people understand is the grief that's related to pet loss. Because I'm a pet death doula, I love pets, and I understand firsthand the impact, the emotional impact that pet death has on individuals. And I am here to offer my support, to offer my understanding, to offer a sacred place so that you, whoever you may be, whether you have lost a pet a year ago, 10 years ago, 10 hours ago, it doesn't matter. I'm here to offer a sacred space so you can talk about your feelings, talk about what's going on with you and how you are dealing with your fur baby's death. Um, I'm here to help you learn how to validate your feelings. Like, it is okay. Pet loss, the grief related to pet loss is real. You know, it deserves to be acknowledged by you and others. And when I say by you, I mean, like I said, when I was dealing with Lightning's death, well, that was the first dog that I had personally that had to pass away. Light, my Miss America. I don't see if you see her in the background, but my Miss America. It wasn't that my daddy didn't support me, because he did, but I guess I had this my own internal stuff going on, because I knew, like, I grew up on a farm, so dogs are held in high esteem, especially hunting dogs and that kind of thing, but they were not pets. They were not in-house dogs. They were not dogs that lived in the house. There was no dog that would cross the doorstep of the house. Um, so it was a kind of shame that I inflicted upon myself. Not that anybody inflicted it upon me. I inflicted it upon myself because maybe I felt I shouldn't be feeling that way about an animal, a dog, especially, coming from the background that I came from on a farm. And I'm sure a lot of you out there are feeling the same way that I do. Like, should I be feeling this way? Should I be crying as much as I'm crying? Should my heart be broken? Should it have this much of an emotional impact on me? And I am here to say that you should feel however it is that you feel. And don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't feel that way. And I want you individually to not beat up on yourself because you're feeling this way. Don't be your own judge, jury, and executioner. Whatever feeling come up, acknowledge it, deal with it, and keep it moving. Whenever it comes up. If it comes up today, tomorrow, the next day, address it, feel it, keep it moving until it comes up again. You're gonna sit a plate at the table for each emotion that you feel. And don't be ashamed about it. There's a book that I often refer my clients to when they're dealing with this stuff, and it's called The 4 Agreements in Life. One of the agreements is speaking impeccable words. And I always talk about, I explain that phrase to say, speaking impeccable words to people, but you have to speak impeccable words to yourself as well. So when you're dealing with this pet loss, don't tell yourself that you're being silly. Don't tell yourself that you are this, you shouldn't feel this way or that way. You know, just acknowledge how you're feeling, so you're speaking impeccable words to yourself, you know. So I'm here to let you know that you don't have to carry this load alone. I have this training. I have several other trainings that I'm going to talk about next week and the week after about the other different trainings that I have. But this week's focus is on disenfranchised grief. And it's for therapists, caregivers, anybody who wants to take advantage of it. It's two CEs involved. You will be able to access it and take the training online. But if you want me to come out to your agency, come out to your company to do a training for your employees, I will do it. I think it's important that HR, human resource officers around the world, need to understand the impact that pet loss had on their employees so that they can try to help them if they're trying to be a comprehensive company. They need to understand that. And I think there's only, from my research recently, for as far as I know, there's only like maybe 3 or 4 companies that recognize pet loss as a major form of grief, and they've taken the initiative to offer grief counseling as it relates to pets. The Mars Candy Bar Company is one of those companies. So if any company out there, Coca-Cola, I see Arthur Blanks has this he's doing this initiative on mental health. Any Microsoft, any agency here in Atlanta, company here in Atlanta would like for me to come out and talk about grief as it relates to pet loss, I am open and available for you. And for therapists, if you are in private practice, if you want a one-on-one, I will leave the link in my Calendly link in my bio, or my I will leave a link in the bio, my Calendly link, so you can schedule a time for me to come out. Thank you guys for today, and I will be out in the community this weekend. I will be going to the Jimmy Carter Market. Hopefully it won't be raining. So I'm going to be passing out free gifts, and I will be limited. And I will be taking photos of your pups. I have a few photos that I'm going to take, so give me a shout out. Mamie Jones, your pet death doula. Have a great day.